Welcome to the Squarespace Degenerate Conversations in a Broadcaster Voice. One of the ways that we avoided people kind of getting, in the beginning, I found a lot of people would try to troll the space, right? And so what we did is we came up with the Squarespace Degen Conversations in a Broadcaster Voice. And I found that when I use the broadcaster voice, people interpreted things a lot differently. So, and then it became the Syndicate, right? But just a name change. What's in a name, anyways? So, yeah, the Squarespace Degen Conversations in a broadcaster voice.
That might have been how I actually found you guys in the first place. And I was like, oh, DJ conversation,
Probably.
I'm jumping in.
Yeah, the broadcaster voice really helps set the tone because people would hear us joking around and think that we weren't also trying to be serious because they would hear people laughing, right?
That sounds entertaining, like a concept. So what sort of, now I have to ask you, are you going to give us a little bit of a soundbite of what your original voice is like?
I don't know. Now that I've done the voice acting, all the voices inside of me are just like things I can select.
Because, like, there's this sports broadcaster.
Yes, right.
Sometimes mimic. It's like,
Let's hear yours.
I can't remember his name.
So I'll go first. Like, welcome to the Squarespace Degen Conversations in a broadcaster voice. We just used to have fun saying it over and over again.
Well, I have to give this guy credit before I try and mimic his name because he's a legend among sports broadcasters here in Australia. He's on Channel 9 and his name is Ray Warren and he does like the Olympics. He used to do the Olympics and all that sort of stuff and he's recently retired.
Is Mike Chavello, but he commentates MMA and Muay Thai.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So here I go. So it's I've got a bit of a pressure thing happening here, but we'll see how we go. Welcome to the Squarespace Degen. Oh, I'll start again. Welcome to the Squarespace.
I like it.
Degen Conversations in a broadcaster's voice. I sort of left it a bit there, but he would be like, yeah, he was an amazing commentator and like he was like a dad to me in a sense with that voice because you just would hear it on the TV and you would feel at home. And he had this powerful bellowing breach. So if there was like say for example, we've got Hetherington up now, plays the ball to Fittler. Fittler passes out to the left. It's heading towards the wing. There's a gap. He's through. It's a try. So there was that sort of build up he had there. It was amazing.
Yeah, we all have. I think, like, if you've ever seen them commentate darts, have you ever seen darts? Darts is the best.
I haven't really paid attention to the commentary.
140. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool.
180. You know what I mean? That's the best.
So is the object of this sort of space to try and have a conversation and maintain what you perceive to be as your broadcaster's voice?
Kind of, sort of, right? It was... You understand kind of what the purpose is, right? And so within the purpose, things get a little hairy. But just to, and this was maybe 3 months ago, right? It just, how do we have fun conversations about serious things without having it devolve, right? Yeah. And so if I use this measured tone to speak, then I'm actually putting myself in a frame, right? I'm giving myself a tone. There's a high energy, low energy, laid back, and broadcast. So when you put yourself in the broadcaster tone, it forces you to speak slower. And when you speak slower, things just sound different. Sometimes they even sound more intelligent.
Yep. Yeah, I like it. That's cool. I was in the yeah, I have the privilege of a space of being brought up. It was like they had about 600 listeners, and I was talking about some things about the topic of the spaces was something about spaces and like how do we use spaces or something like that. And yeah, I just got up there and started talking to this guy who's um, in a sense of just he wanted to be a radio announcer all his life. He took this year, he applied to take this year-long course, and they basically and he couldn't get any work, and they basically told him he's never going to be an announcer and all that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden, he's got like 50,000 followers on Twitter, and holding these types of spaces where 600 people are attending, and he's great. He's great at what he does. I attended the first space tonight, and I just thought he was amazing. And I told him about Syndicate, Off Five Prong, and all the sorts of characters here, and he was like really intrigued and sort of wants to come in and see what's going on. He might be talking shit, but you never know. He said sent me some messages to reach out, so I'll see if I can invite him along at some stage. In fact, I might just invite him now. I've got to go and find him though.
Just washing out this cup.
Oh,
Hey,
good.
Ann, what's going on? Are you still in the Californias?
I am. It is. I'm still
How do you
here.
say bye to California? Do you have like
I
a
don't
ritual?
know. I don't know. It's complicated. It's
Sounds like you're gonna have to burn something and like shove it off the shore, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like a
it
little
sounds like
fire
I'm
with.
gonna have to burn a couple of bridges.
Well,
Big
I mean,
time.
if you were gonna burn any bridges, it would be now, right?
It would
Or at
be
least
now.
wait till you get your first paycheck, then
It
you
would
can start burning bridges.
exactly. It would be now. No, it's going. It's just going slower than, of course, I would like, but it's still.
So,
Yeah.
do you sign? You're signing papers before you do the move, I imagine.
Yeah, I'll definitely get some sort of like confirmation that yes, yeah. We're trying. I'm really pushing for like a 2-year contract.
Ah, right, right, right.
So yeah, we'll see. God, these things just take time, It's annoying. But how are you guys doing?
Oh, great. We're just
Yeah,
chilling. You know, Trav Hurls?
I do not.
No.
Nope.
Hey, how are we?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, doing really well. Just come back from holidays. My family, we had Father's Day over here in Australia on Sunday. Yeah, so we spent the weekend, went to a big game, uh, watched a big rugby league game, and it was really fun. And then on Sunday night, I got let off the leash and found myself in a casino, and yeah, that's a big story.
What part of Australia are you in?
Northeast Coast. Northeast Coast. So
Northeast. Oh, okay. Oh, beautiful. Oh, wow. That's where, of course, yeah. Wow, that's beautiful up there. I mean, it's beautiful all over Australia.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
obsessed with going to Australia to do to walk the tracks. I guess the hiking trails are called tracks there.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, I'm a hiker, so I really like a long distance hiker. So I really want to complete a couple of the tracks that y'all have there.
Nice. You're a hiker and you work in the cannabis industry. I like it. Hiker. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. That was for Casey.
That was for Casey.
Why is that one got to be for me? Well, how come?
Hiker.
Hi, Kerr. My name is Kerr, and I'm so high. Good morning.
I embody my name through vocation. Sorry.
Congratulations, by the way.
Everyone's killing it in Surum, right? Ann got a new job. Peter's now a celebrity because he's almost at 200,000 views on that video.
Dude, Peter, congratulations.
Who would have thought that OnlyFans would go so far?
Or no?
They told me drugs would never get me anywhere.
Well, 'cause I was gonna be for me. Well, how come?
Yeah.
How come? 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 How come?
Oh, hey,
So
Casey. I just wanted to say real quick.
What about?
Oh my God, that AI, the selfie
Oh yeah.
AI, is amazing.
I'm glad you like that. I'm glad you like that.
I showed it to a bunch of people at work yesterday, and they're like, "That's awesome." And then a
Oh.
couple of them are like, "That makes me feel weird," but good, but weird. I don't know.
I feel funny, like gym class.
Yeah,
And
literally, like they didn't know how to feel about it. They're like, "I love it, but it feels good." I don't know. It was very interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. Sometimes you put it into Wombo and it's like, if I feel like if I have to generate it more than 3 times, it's a loss. Either my prompts are wrong or my theme is not right for the picture or something. But
Dude, have you got into Mid Journey?
dude, I know,
Peter and
no,
Dan,
no, no,
dude,
God damn it, no,
dude,
no, dude, no,
dude.
no, because you
It's like
know,
Wombo
no,
to the power of three.
I know. I've already been taking Mid Journey photos and putting them through Wombo and then feeding them back in, and
Oh
oh my
my
God,
god.
dude, it's too much. I won't do anything else. I'll do nothing but generate Midgard pictures, Mid Journey, and Wombo, and I will cease working and playing with the kids because that's all I'll do.
So is this
That's my current
Casey's
goal in life.
like fork into like NFTs now?
I sure can.
Like
It's plenty of people
you
are.
just start making. That's awesome.
So like it's funny too because there's this guy on Twitter whose handle is Optimus Prime, and I gave him my Wombo Macross Prime generation thing. Holy shit, dude! I've got so many DMs from people. Can you do Megatron? Can you do Soundwave? Can I have Grimlock? Blah blah blah, which is awesome. It's super awesome. It's super cool. I like it. I honestly just send them the Wombo link and say you can do it on your own. Have fun.
nice. Do you try and do it on your own, like without it first, or
We're
try and get close to it, or you just allow the software to do it for you?
Well,
Play around with
the
it.
thing I've been enjoying about Wombo is the initial picture upload. So you can take the original picture and then modify it a little bit, or a lot if you want. But um, for where I'm at right now, I've just been really enjoying taking other people's pictures or artwork and modifying it versus a straight creation from prompts.
Wow. Like I like to try and sort of mimic types of things. Like transformer voices are so cool because there's almost like multiple voices
Oh
within the
yeah,
one. It's like we are cybernetic organisms from the planet Cybertron,
Autobots,
and then
roll
you
out.
know, yeah,
I think
yeah.
the more that there's fan art out there that has been created by others, and then the more there is
Mm-hmm.
merchandise, posters, and graphics, the more complete your get is going to be.
So if you search hashtag AI fan art, I get
No, I wouldn't do that because fan art it goes across so many different genres. Everything from first generation Star Trek to
yep.
you know.
That's exactly so. The reason I said that, Mel, is that that's the hashtag I've been using.
Oh well, yeah. See, and there's so many different flavors. I mean, even licorice freaking ice cream in the fan art
Yeah.
world. So you gotta cuidado. Be careful.
Do you know it's been interesting because I like doing AI fan art. I like taking pictures that someone else has already done and then putting a little twist on it. That's what I've been enjoying. That's where I'm at right now.
Right. So that's the twist on top of the twist of fan art, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I have noticed that like it's received pretty well. Like, oh hey, that's fun, that's cool. Sometimes it's not received very well, and then sometimes it's actually not good. Like, and when I say not good, I mean like I did a fan art of a guy who generated a mecha robot, And I went in and I'm like, oh, let's Zeus this one up. And I did, and it turned out super cool. But then I got a DM basically saying, hey, I really liked my robot, and you tooled him over and made it looks like, I feel like you're saying my art sucked, was basically the message. So I had to like backtrack, like, whoa, no, I really liked your robot, and I don't do AI art on stuff I don't like. So if I'm doing it, it means I liked it. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, everybody gets so sensitive when it comes to their art, right? And so that's why it's better to kind of sneak around and not do something that's so ultimately identifiable, especially if the artist is alive. But we can have them knocked off. We're called the Syndicate, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, like, so as an example, I was absolutely scavenging AM's photo work, and like I was like kind of compulsively going through AM's photos and AI art generating all of her photo work. But then after talking with her, she's like, yeah, some of the stuff is actually for sale. So if you could not with the stuff that I'm actually trying to sell, like, oh yeah, cool, totally get it,
Yeah. And for me as a painter who's just now kind of developing my own style, a lot of people come to me and say, oh, well, you've copied Jim Wagner's style, or you copied this one's style. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm just like the AI going out there and looking at those images and going, wow, I like this, I like that, and I'm just picking parts out to interpolate, myself. But
call it the homage
sure,
to
if
Jim.
you want to trademark a red background, good luck with that.
You can't use somebody else's style. That's not right. Yeah, fuck that. I really enjoyed some of the conversations around art and like what is the form, purpose, and function, and the response of you're there, you're doing art to entertain yourself. If you're finding joy in doing whatever quote unquote art you're doing, it's bringing you joy, then you're doing it right. Like I love that.
Right. And then there's also but if you're going to pretend to be part of a culture that, is claiming some sort of societal importance or something like this, perhaps the palaver of critics is something that you have to fold in.
Yeah, that's fair. Gotta consider the source, right?
Well, it's like trying to get an artist community to look at itself. Not only, it's not really a comparison. You're not really comparing, but you're just talking about it. Like, if this art community refuses to look at itself in a critical way, how can it compare itself to, say, Paris or New York or LA, these other art centers? Because they're under scrutiny constantly by art critics and people who don't know anything.
Right.
Maybe you need to. What if you created an account that looked like an art critic? It was just like your PFP with an ascot and twisted mustache and a fucking long cigarette holder.
Yeah,
thing.
you can find a PFP of an asshole, right?
That's awesome. And then
just take Caffrey's image and put an ascot around it.
I mean,
with a long.
can you like just build like a whole account for this and like put up a bunch of like art critic articles and
like, oh, nice picture. I made it better, or fix that for you. You can just call it fix that for you.
My dog could paint better than that.
See,
or
that's.
Yeah. I had my dog, use its foot to tap on Dream on Wombo or whatever, and this is what I created. Which one do you like better? Imagine if you said, which one do you like better, the left or the right? And the right was yours and the left was the original. And then people started voting and shit.
That's a dick.
Well, yeah. There was just this story yesterday about this guy. I've forgotten what state it was in or what city, but this guy submitted AI art and it won a $300 prize. And everybody is losing their mind.
I think I saw that in a news article. Here, it's got like this sort of like it could be a scene from maybe one of those Marvel movies where they're sort of standing in this room and they're all wearing like big robes and things like that, and there's like a portal in the middle of the picture, and it almost looks like something like Doctor Strange created, opened a portal, and they're all looking into it.
Well, I think that's the criticism that I have a soft spot for from the artist, which is that, you know, it's drawing on it's almost like AI is like uses the commons more than anything else, or leverages the commons more than anything else, right? Because when we say AI, there's a data set behind it, and the data set is probably every image ever created or is being created. You know what I mean?
Sorry, what do you mean when you say the commons?
So the commons are all of the AI that everyone's ever created together.
Right. And not only that, the art that has become what was considered in the public domain. In other words, part of the Creative Commons, which is not grabbing the patent, not grabbing the protection, but saying, here you go, copy left, right? So the AI goes out on the commons, in other words, what are our collective common expression, and sifts through it.
So it's literally the database of.
So you know how the chess AI looked at every chess game ever played? Well, the image AI looked at every image ever created, and that's what it's
Right.
using to make its next move.
So
we
when
don't see that because we don't care about it, you know?
Sorry, Hurl. Go ahead, bud.
No, it's okay. I've gone off topic, so continue, Casey.
We don't have any topic. Yeah.
Okay. So I was just going to talk about something that was spoken about before with the regard to the the critics, and sort of creating like a news feed. There's a guy I met. I haven't vetted him yet. I don't know how to vet him. And he claims to be a founder of truthandfacts.com. And he says something at which Truth and Facts is like a news feed website, but it actually uses AI to pick all the articles out and then place them on the website. And it's obviously doing a bunch of things there, but essentially you could do that with the art critic. It's doing the same thing, like it's looking at that sort of common thing and then choosing what topics would be relevant according to what it's been set to do. I have no idea how to vet it or anything and whether or not it's true, but
yeah, I mean, technically you could create like a website that contained a mix of the latest tweets about a subject and the top tweets about a subject, right? And if you had that constantly refreshing, the mix of those two views along with the videos about that subject. Yeah. I need to figure out, and I think this is the point I'm at. I need to figure out how to use the Twitter's API myself at this point. For me to really carry through my hypotheses and things, I need to learn how to use the API.
Yeah, so once you drape yourself with that authentic feed,
yes,
right?
Yes, I need to learn how to do that. I have access to the API key. Like I've done all the went to developer.twitter.com or whatever it is, developed the key. Maybe I just need to find a Google Colab notebook. Hold on.
Yeah, there's probably one.
Yeah, there's so much to learn in these groups. It just keeps blowing me away. Like Peter and I twisted his arm and helping me out with a project. I started to sort of like hop into spaces and check out to see if there's any syndicate spaces being open, and if there wasn't one, I just thought I'll just start one up and I'll open it up and just start talking like a video diary. And then it's like the problem of like having to be up at 11 o'clock at night and have a conversation with you guys and entangle our minds and throw out all these cool ideas and then decouple and take it back out in the world and sort of improve what we're doing. So I was like, how do I get around that problem? Like that's a brick wall for me at sometimes. So I thought, what if I just started to sort of create like a video, not a video, an audio diary. Sorry, it's getting late, and I just post it to essentially like a circle or a group and put it out there. And if they're happy, if they're kind enough to sort of donate their time and listen in and then give their thoughts, they can do it in their own time, listen, and then create a space with a response and then post it up on that feed. Now it's kind of clunky at the moment because of the way the API works, but if I knew how to sort of plug it into a software that managed that better, you can start to essentially create like within thinking about how quantum physics works, thinking about how we don't really follow the laws within Twitter Spaces. We more follow the laws of like the universe type thing. We can create sort of like these types of string theory type conversations where we could all branch off and on a really interesting topic like AI, and these concepts come out. So I said as I started sort of just putting this out into the voice diary, Peter popped into the room and then shared about his journey. And I was like, would you let me use this sort of journey as a topic of conversation where we could actually start one of these types of branch chain type of where we branch off? And yeah, then it was like figuring it out and nutting it out. And then we posted it in Peter's tweet. Peter posted it in his circle. And then we're just playing around with that now. So it's kind of cool because later on you could probably tap into that using a bit of software that plugs into it and make it more user friendly. So yeah, playing around with that's exciting stuff. Boring some other people too as they leave the space.
I found a great tutorial on how to use the Twitter API. It's in Japanese.
Oh, come on, you can read that.
Definitely a great tutorial.
Well, I was able to translate it, but I'm not sure if the Google Colab notebook will also be in Japanese. So we'll see. But you know how you search for things and then you realize, oh, that's a keyword I need to add. So Tweepy Google Colab notebook is what I'm searching next. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I'm getting closer. I'll show you where I am now. Huh?
I'm gonna have to step out soon too, so you just wanted to pop in, say good day, and just yeah, share a few things. But you can let people know it's boring. Yeah.
Before you go, let me give you just a little word of encouragement. I've been building spaces for people to congregate virtually for about 30 years now. And it feels like I am throwing parties that no one ever attends. And it's been kind of an uphill battle. But at the same time, I just keep doing it, even though I have experienced the sense of futility. I've used forums, I've used BBSs, all these different kinds of things. But I think now, I think the information and the connectivity and the ability for like minds to kind of settle out, water finding its own level, is just now possible with these kind of audio spaces. We're not put off by our individual physical tics or problems, but we can sense the earnestness in our hearts here in this audio space. So good luck. I wish that there is something where we can all kind of keep our toes in the water and still get some sleep and hydrate.
Thanks for that. It's always nice to have some advice and encouragement. But it's exactly. It's just about finding the right type of people to work with and people who sort of understand where you're coming from. And it's kind of sort of like an experiment or anything. The way I'm really deeply thinking about it is like this is an opportunity, and I really don't want to blabber on it because it's 11 o'clock at night, and I do want to get some sleep. But yeah, without starting to sound like an echo chamber because there's other people here who need time to talk too.
I think that it's amazing that Peter is so single for any of those listening in the future.
Oh yeah, like Peter, your
Well,
voice is hot. Like I'm a male, and I'm like that's another thing. Like the voices in these spaces with these artistic minds and these brilliant minds, is there a correlation between the artistic nature of someone and the sound of their voice? Because I'm hearing a lot of beautiful voices in these types of spaces, where in some of the other spaces the voices just cut through me like an arrow going into my ear and out the other.
I think a lot of people yell into their microphone. You know
Well,
what?
because like I was studying art therapy
Okay.
and kids, and I wonder if people who are more into art are more in touch with themselves, so they vibrate at a lower level because they don't have to perform as much.
Right.
You know what I mean? Settle more into themselves. I don't know.
Or
It's
they have
the
to explore the
centeredness.
character.
It's a centeredness and not wobbling. You know, like those little tops that you pull the string and they're spinning at a rate, and then at a certain point they wobble, and then if you could introduce something else, they just go skittering off somewhere. But I think that one of the things about art is that it allows you to stay within your own frequency, whether it's high or low, it doesn't matter really, but just so that your frequency is there, so you just like manifest, you become like the standing entity that wasn't able really to grab on or have anything before.
Yeah, that's yeah, I think you're on. Definitely that I can, yeah, I'm vibing with that. Let's just say that because it's 11 o'clock at night. So there's a couple of people coming in the space and they're requesting to come up for speaker, and I think they started to try and speak over the top of Melwell. Just want to say that yeah, if you want to come in and just wait for your moment, or put your hand up if you'd like to say something, if we invite you up to speak. If you do sort of want to speak over the top of someone, I have no qualms with sort of giving you a bit of a strict three-strike policy or something like that. But yeah, I'm more than happy to drop you down back to listener. If you want to play games and stuff like that, it's fun. But if you want to sort of work in and you got some cheeky things to say, I think people in the space welcome it. We welcome a bit of a laugh and a challenge. But if you want to talk over people, then I'm just going to mute you, and then I'm going to talk over the top of you, and then I'm going to drop you down to listener. But I won't be here for long either, so have at it. Come up and have a chat. Yeah, so where were we? Who can, because I've been taken off track. Can anyone bring us back into where we were talking, what we were talking about?
Absolutely. If you're just joining us, this is the Squarespace DGen conversations in a broadcaster voice.
Yes, yes, yes. And how many broadcaster voices are there out there? So many different types, depending on the mood, the vibration, the feeling in the room. We might be watching sport right now and racing through the space at an enormous pace. And we're all trying to achieve a goal. And away we go. And it's a try. It's a goal. We are there. We've done something special in this world, people. And then we can bring ourselves back into maybe a serene type of space, a melody type of space.
So imagine you have 4 broad characters: the hero, the villain, the sidekick, and the mentor. The hero, the villain, the sidekick, and the mentor. The hero wants to save the day. The villain was there first and has something to prove. The sidekick just wants to help, and the mentor has something to teach. So if you're looking to vary yourself, imagine as you speak, going from hero to villain to sidekick to mentor, all in one paragraph, to keep it consistently interesting.
That's a good game. Like, can you actually do that, so you? Can anyone do that in the space?
You can try it. Anyone want to try it?
Where's Dan when we need him?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Really,
Oh,
where is
Dan.
he? I haven't seen him for a couple of days.
I just DM'd him to see how he was doing.
Okay, thank you.
I channel him sometimes in my mind. I just sort of hear him having conversations in my mind sometimes, and it just makes me laugh. It's crazy.
In 2 days, I've got to do the hot box of horror, and I'm not really psychically prepared because not only do I not have a story that is scary enough, I just my energy is being completely wiped out by all the doings of this board of directors that I'm dealing with. So I was hoping to get Dan to show up. I know he's busy, but at least to listen. We're going to be simulcasting it in spatial as well. But instead of trying to do it in meat space, we're just going to do it virtually. And I think it's going to be more successful just because I'll have all my goodies and all my sound effects and air horns and whoopee cushions available to me in my Airstream.
Were you using deep motion with spatial, like the GLB file?
Yeah. What
How
I
does it
did.
work? Does it port over well?
Okay. So, Crow, someone else I haven't seen for
Yeah.
he told me about deep motion. And one of the reasons why I hung in spaces where Crow was because he would drop these little shiny bits, as crows are wont to do. And I picked up on it, and I didn't realize that, it was just like on the spot. So I did the
So just to
iMac.
give a bit of background, deep motion is like having a motion capture studio with your phone and your laptop.
Right. Actually, I was just going to get into it. The iMac, I can get like 3 feet away from the iMac, so I couldn't do full body. So the capture that I got was just basically hips and up, everything. And then it, did AI. And you could skin this animation any way you wanted. Either I think there were limits on downloads, what you could download, how long of a sample you could grab, and so forth. So I skinned it two ways: one with my Ready Player Me avatar, and then the other as the basic kind of white AI Android visual that we're used to seeing in the movies. So,
I put a video to the top. So this is a guy who took a video of himself, full body,
mm-hmm.
dragged it into motion, deep motion, right? Got the motion capture, and then I think applied a different
A different,
skin
yeah,
to the moving object, which is his body now, with
right.
all of the vertices,
The
and is
cool
now maybe in spatial. Yeah.
Right. The cool thing is that in the Adobe Creative Suite there is this particular thing available to you, and you have a variety of default characters that you can have your content basically run through. So you can do either motion capture or it can digest the audio that you've fed it, and it will ascribe certain hand motions and head motions and eye motions to your words and inflections.
Wow.
And this is audio. This is Adobe, and so I I
Hold
look
on.
forward.
Which Adobe app is that? Is that the animation one?
It's called Character, I think it is. I
Hold on. Are you
was trying.
telling me that? Hold on. Are you telling me that if I have words that are being spoken?
Okay, let me tell you about an application I used it for. Okay, I have audio of stories that are told. They're succinct stories without a whole lot of buffers and ums and ahs. So I took that audio file. It was an MP3 or a wave, one of the others, and I dumped it into this program. And then I selected the head, the face, the hair, the shirt, the you know the stuff, the style. Do I want the hard edge, round faced kids that we're used to seeing in all metaverse related stuff? Or do I want something that's more artistic, look more like Egon Schiele? You know what? So you got all these different things. You could even create your own, and then it will talk. So I had this audio about this man, story of his life, how he was murdered, all this kind of stuff. But I did not want to have my face up there in this spatial environment in an MP4 movie playing in a loop. I certainly didn't want that. So I ran all this information, this content through this character that looks a little like a zombie, kind of white face, pasty, a little messy looking, but the head tilts, the mouth opens, and that is the persona that is feeding the information through the spatial environment. And I suppose if I wanted to take it and then do layering, because it will, I haven't gone this deep yet in Photoshop or animation, but it will create a GLB file based on two-dimensional material. It's not great, and so you kind of have to get in there and play around with it, because it might interpret, say, no shadows in a really disgusting way. But once your core visual of your character, and it can be full body, you can have it stay in one place. You can have it kind of move around a little bit within a sort of capsule of action. And it's drag and drop, just like deep motion. And you only get like 20 minutes from deep motion, but that's free. I mean, I paid out the nose for my creative suite.
I love how these just new universes, like I understand the Big Bang Theory now. It's just like something from nothing. When I sit in these spaces and all of a sudden, boom, this universe just explodes in my mind, and it's like, whoa, I have this massive journey of comprehension and got to go through it. And
Exactly.
yeah,
It makes me it makes me excited on the one hand. I mean, just exhilarated beyond words. But then after I have a major, say, apprehension of skills, menus, limitations, all this kind of stuff, I got a nap because it's just too much. Last night, this woman had Adobe Dimension in her creative suite, didn't know about it, and didn't know that you could take basic white OBJ files and skin them in a variety of ways. And that was just drag and drop, without the the tremendous layers of menus and parameters that you have to go through with Blender. And it's not to say I don't want to learn that, certainly, but I need to learn by doing. That's just the way I do. So even if I'm bringing a simple pyramid and putting wheels on it and trying to make it go in my environment, I feel like I've learned something. And ultimately, I'd love to make something um, aesthetically thrilling walk through an environment, and I'll get there. But I can't sit through another demo by that guy. I love him, and I love him dearly. I think he's very sweet, but I just can't.
Do you realize that the Twitter API gives you 2 million tweets a month? Holy, per project? Wow.
yeah. And just talking on like that, like in my experience, like in life, like I was thinking about there was I think it was Mahatma's experience. It's Mahatma someone experience on
Oh
a
yeah,
computer.
Mahat. Yeah. We were
And
chilling yesterday, and they're
and
doing a video.
is that your missus?
No, that's just someone I know from Twitter.
Okay.
She's
And I was just
she was born in India, and at 2 months old, she was adopted by a family in West Appalachia.
wow. Yeah, and then like there's these moments where we just like want to tear the hair out of our head because of what we're doing on the computer. And then I started to think about like what you're talking about, how you can show someone who is just like spending almost all their life trying to do this, task, and then someone comes along and goes, it's just a drag and drop. And it's just like you go through those experiences of like you can hear in their voice, it's like, oh, I've been suffering all this pain for so
I
long, and
put I put the
just
video
drag
to
and
the
drop.
top. It's because the thing is, Allie and I are my wife Allie and I are listening to Mahat, and we're just talking to her about this, that, and the other, right? And just about content in general. And I'm listening to her talk, and because my background is comedy, I'm like, when I hear something that makes me laugh, I immediately think, wait a minute, is there something behind this? Maybe there's something more, right? That's like my startup thing. If something is funny, like I pay attention. So it's like I hear her yelling at a computer, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious, right? And I'm on mute, and I go to Allie. I think this is fucking amazing. Just hot yelling at her computer, and all she's trying to do is set an appointment in her calendar. And at the end of it, she's like, fuck this computer, I'm gonna do it from my phone. And like that's, to me, that's like the most mom thing ever, but and the thing is, like, with her, the thing is, here's the thing with Mahat. She's attractive, and I think because she's attractive, people think she's an idiot. She's fucking a genius, but people look at her and ask her stupid fucking airhead questions because they just look at her face and be like, oh, I must not be able to talk to this person about serious things.
Yeah, that's just a kind of demographic that you sort of draw in when you put a type of image up, or like I see
Yeah,
it. Like
you're right.
I'm
You're
only sort of
absolutely right. You're
talking
absolutely
about
right.
other experiences that I'm seeing on Spaces, but the like you're going to draw that attention, but there was something else within her. So I thought it was really awesome how you had that sort of voice clip, but then it was her in another completely other sort of conversation. And I was watching her facial expressions. And I mean, yes, she's a pretty girl, but there was a character within that person because of the way her face twisted and contorted and some of the things. I think you did a freeze image on one of them. There was another one where it was just at the moment she had this sort of realization and this relatability and the way that she worked her face on camera. And I found that very, very interesting because I could see I love looking at facial expressions and trying to read them and understand them and going into them. And like I really get into that sort of thing. But yeah, she's got this face that she can twist and contort, and it was really funny to watch. Yeah. So anyway, and you're Together Alone. I played that clip for my soulmate, and she thought it was really funny. So we were cracking up about that too.
People are confused by that one. They're like, what the hell is this? Because I took it to Facebook. It, to your point, Mahat has so many faces. I did this video a while ago called The Many Faces of Mahat. And this is just her being herself with all of her faces at the same time.
Yeah, I want to watch that one. We've got some people requesting to come up into the speaker realm. We've got L. Twitter isn't on. I'm getting really tired now because I'm wearing prescription glasses and I can't even read. Some things happening with L.
It's different. It's a different. It's it's in still my or
Well, Sandra's following her, so good enough for me.
Yeah,
Sandra, this
I
one's on
talked
you.
to her like
Yeah,
twice. She se-
I'm
she
just
seemed she seemed okay. I don't know.
welcome, Al. What's going on? So yeah, that's Mahat, and I'm just a fan of who she is and what she represents, right? And so when she gave me a shout, I was like, yeah, let's chop it up. Maybe we make fun of ourselves as we're creating content. I'll put that one up as well.
Yeah, cool. Well, I gotta drop down to listener. I wish I could stay in and chat a bit more, but yeah, I have to go.
Hey guys,
Hi Jackie, I see you there. Hey, hi, who are we talking to? Newman?
Newman.
How are we, Newman?
Good, thanks, and you?
Yeah, I'm good. What's happening in the day of Newman today?
Nothing much. Just laying in bed. You guys?
About to do the same, I think.
Yeah, which country are you from? Australia, New Zealand?
Yeah, around there, northeast coast of Australia. Yourself?
Ooh. Germany, Europe.
Germany.
Yeah, Germany.
Got anything to say about the topics we're talking about today or tonight? Or in the
Uh,
space time that we all exist together in, Newman?
mm, I don't. I haven't even looked. Just what were you talking about? Do you know what I thought? I thought this is like a Findom, that kind of thing. Do you know what that is?
No. Sounds like a sex toy.
No, when you send girls money, and I thought there's maybe girls here that can send money to, but I don't think so. I think this is like a different group.
Mm-mm.
Perhaps.
Got it.
I want to welcome Al. I've never spoken to Al before. Hi, Al. Michael, nice to meet you. Oh, Al is switching to her headphones. I can tell when people are using sometimes like AirPods because when they speak or their earpod falls out, they disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
You have like a sixth sense sometimes with these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
I
earpod
want
falls out, puts it back in, ends the space, has to come back.
to I want to say hi to Jackie. I've spoken to Jackie before, had some really good conversations. It's been a while, Jackie. How are we? Um, so yeah, do you guys know Jackie?
Yeah, Jackie's the best.
Awesome, cool. Maybe that's how I got drawn to the Syndicate. I'm still trying to figure out how I found the Syndicate, but we'll not figure
Sometimes I
it
ask myself the same thing.
out.
Yeah, I have no
And
idea how I
how'd
found
everyone else?
Syndicate. Hurls, thank you for the invite this morning. I'm just waking up and I see that Sandra's in here and thank you so much. So you wait, I don't even know what to call you. So you
Uh,
want to or attract
the,
funding?
the full
I
name
do.
is So You Want to Attract Funding, but it's otherwise known as Michael. Michael Jagdeo or Mike. Yeah.
Okay. Michael, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Sandra is if Sandra's there, you know it's a good use of your time. That's
I
how I
see.
judge
Yeah,
if I'm gonna
she knows
spend
my
my time.
friend. She knows my friend Lauren of the Light, and Lauren
Yep.
of the Light
Lauren's
likes
great.
her. So then she must be awesome. And I've been in quite a few spaces with her. So thank you for hosting a space this morning. Just having
Yeah,
my coffee,
absolutely.
writing in my idea book, and enjoying everyone's interesting conversation. So I was writing down what you said about when you were broadcasting about hero, villain, sidekick, and what was the other one? What was the
Oh
fourth?
yeah.
Right. So this is what we call the character cross in the voice acting masterclass that we're running very soon. So there are four broad character archetypes for a basic story. You have your hero, your villain, your sidekick, and your mentor. The hero, villain, sidekick, mentor. So imagine like a compass, north, south, east, west. So you would put the hero at the top, which is north, the villain at the south, the sidekick on the west, and the mentor on the east. So villain south, hero north, hero north, villain south. The mentor is east, and the sidekick is west. So if we consider that there are four characters, hero, which just wants to save the day, the villain, who was there before the villain and has something to prove, the sidekick that just wants to help, and the mentor who has something to teach. Those are the four quadrants. Go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of that. Like, I'm thinking I like where it's going, but I kind of feel like it should be more of like hero north, villain south, and then when you say mentor, it's like the mentor. What's the opposite of the mentor? And I don't know if it's the psychic. I'm thinking more the mentor would be someone who sort of like deconstructs the mind, sort of like the troll, in a sense, where they just come in and create havoc. I don't
Well,
know,
this
but
is
then
the
that could be
So
You
well,
have a
yeah,
this is
bad
it does
mentor.
make sense because the psychic
this is the Joseph
reinforces.
Campbell
Yeah,
mentor, right? The mentor has a talisman. Go ahead, Mel.
you just look at it in terms of the sidekick reinforces, the mentor straightens you out.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Oh, okay. Yep. Righto.
So
Okay.
when we're thinking about, imagine you get handed a script, right? And when you get handed a script, they ask you for two reads. Give me two reads, right? And these days they ask you, tell me what microphone you're using, make sure you're using the sampling rate, the whole nine yards. But when you look at a script, the first decision you have to make is the triangle of communication, which is who am I, who am I talking to, and where are we? That's the first decision. Who am I, who am I talking to, and where are we together? And then the second decision is, am I going to attack this or approach this as a hero, a villain, a sidekick, a mentor, or a melange of those? And then when you make that decision, sometimes you go through, let me try this hero, let me try this villain, let me try his sidekick, no, let me try his mentor. You know what? I really like the villain. Okay. So after you pick the character, then you have to pick the tone. The tone is the same cross. So the north is high paced, high energy. The south is uh, slow, right? And low energy. The sidekick is, Jove. You know how a sidekick is, casual, right? And the mentor has a broadcaster tone associated with it. And so you're just
Well, yeah,
making these
yeah.
decisions as you walk through a script. And this can take hours, right? Of just you on your own, just being like, okay, so where are we again? Oh, that's right. I'm I'm supposed to be freezing in the Arctic, so I have to be shivering while I speak. Little things like that reveal itself to you as you go through the script over and over.
Wow, that's cool. I like that because actually the sidekick can also be the little shit stirrer, right? They can play up and actually do the troll, and they stuff up and they make mistakes and they piss off the hero, because he's got to put out their fires and rescue them in a sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I really
also
like
like
that.
different thought forms and expression functions that naturally pair well, like wine and steak, for example. So for sorry, Sandra, I have to pick a vegan option. What's a good vegan pairing?
For what? A vegan pair for what?
No, like what would be a vegan equivalent of pairing? Like I was gonna say, a villain often uses sarcasm, for example. You know what I mean? You don't really sometimes expect sarcasm from the sidekick as much because they're just trying to help, but the villain will use sarcasm. That's like an expression function that naturally goes with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm. Gosh, my mind's a blank. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just,
So
you
yeah,
know, you know
nothing
how you get
really.
caught
No
on these
wine
cliffs.
goes with lentils.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
Mm. Like
yeah.
like a vegan with Indian food, maybe. I don't know.
So we've got Jackie had the hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Something
So
that you felt like you could chip in there, Jackie, and feel free to take it back if there was something you were
No,
relating
no,
to.
no, it's fine. Sometimes I have a hard time when I'm getting used to the group's cadence of banter, and I want to respect everyone that's speaking. Michael, so I hear that you're very passionate about these subjects, and I appreciate you conveying this message this morning to me. I'm not familiar with acting or any type of broadcasting. That's not my realm of expertise. Mine's mainly design and visual. So I'm not super well versed or interested in this subject at this moment in the sense of participating and wanting to develop. But the points that you've brought up for me, I've written down in my idea book because they're ones that I'll consider thinking about. Um, like I said at the beginning, you seem very passionate about this subject. So, what do you think that you want to do moving forward using this platform that you're creating or class you're creating?
So the class is a voice acting masterclass for digital founders. So we're often surrounded by founders and people who are trying to monetize whatever they're doing. And we find that especially on mediums like Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces, even LinkedIn has audio now, that your voice is what leads you to capturing value these days. You know, if you can be persuasive or at least express yourself clearly, these days it can mean the difference between zero and tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars when it really comes down to it. But, you know, we've never actually had to learn how to operate in front of a camera or operate behind a microphone. That was just never taught to us. It wasn't taught to me until a couple of years ago. And when I learned how to navigate a microphone and use it to create content, I found that content ended up being very compelling towards folks. So right now we're just looking at doing this voice acting masterclass with a handful of founders who have things on their chest that they want to express but might not know what that is yet. And so we're partnering with a guy who has voiced a lot of commercials and animations over the past 20 years.
Jackie, there's an actual what was supposed to be a phone call conversation that we ended up doing between you and I about everything that he just spoke about, sort of getting in length, and we recorded it under the Syndicate. And I still don't know why. I've got to ask you, how the hell did that get to 560 listeners? Because it was just supposed to be a
That
phone
doesn't
call.
make sense to me. It said it had 565 replays. And I mean,
I know.
that's either success or a mistake. Go ahead, Jack.
I'm in this space sometimes and I'll just listen while I'm designing. So when I notice voices on Twitter Space, I've noticed the significance, like what you're saying, of your tone. You can tell excitement, you can tell passion, you can tell so many things. And so I like the idea that you're bringing a group together how to present themselves visually. So I've noticed in this space, Dan's one of the people that I've resonated with and have quite a few conversations with that really presents himself with passion and uses different inflections to convey different meanings towards his points. And I've listened to your guys' conversations about monetary value and growth. So it seems as if you are taking your platform and helping people to translate from just audio and then incorporating aspects to present yourself well with visual components and audio components. So I appreciate you doing that, and I have a lot to consider.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, Jackie. I can hear the potential of it. Like it just, and we were talking about this before. It's sort of something that can help in your everyday life, right? And that's kind of what the Syndicate is about. It's not just about creating content, but it's also our relationships. That real world interactivity and stuff like that. And yeah, it's very intriguing. And yeah, going back to the let's continue on this, Jackie. Have you got
Yeah,
any more?
Mel, did you have your hand up?
Was it Melody? Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
Oh, I did, but no, I don't. I'll get that. I
By
think.
the way, because
Yeah.
of the clipping feature, if you want to hear and relive the best of Dan, aka Floozy Speak, I put a
Yeah,
tweet at the top. And if you click on that search link, twitter.com/search, you'll see the best of Dan. And you can go through the top, the latest, the photos, and the videos.
that's awesome. On that, Dan, like thinking about Dan, I had recently had the opportunity, well, not recently, it's been a while ago now, where I was able to do some work with a scientist, and they were showing me EMDR. I think it's EMDR therapy. Have any of you guys ever done that or know about that?
Never
It's where
heard.
you sort
You got me.
you,
Say more
What
it's
words.
it's
what
kind of
is
like, oh, who was that?
what is the acronym?
I think it's
It's like,
therapy to electronic dance music.
no, oh well, yeah, you could actually possibly do
That's
that.
my
Visualize.
therapy. That is definitely.
Oots, 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 oots. Sorry.
Boots and dancing, boots and pants, and boots and pants.
Oots and pants.
Jackie's vibing. I can see Jackie right now. She's dancing in her seat, translating through her designs right now as she's
Can I have
listening.
that hi hat?
Who's going to supply the why? Give us the why.
Isn't that to do with rapid eye movements? So where your eyes go, you go with like a psychologist or a trained professional, and you have your eye movements related to psychological experiences. Is that what you're talking about, Charles?
Yeah, so like I'm someone who, like, when you tell me something, no matter what it is, I sort of interpret it through visual sort of designs in my brain. Now, I have no skill or capability of translating that onto any sort of form of medium of art at the moment, and the only thing I do have is my voice. But like we went through this session, and they sort of get you to relax and meditate and get you in this state where you're aware, and you go through those phases in your brain where it sort of drops down. So you're aware of what's happening, but you're essentially also in a dream state. So you're actually sort of dreaming under instruction and doing types of things. And some amazing things happened, and some very, very scary things, and something that happened that we didn't expect at all, which was quite shocking. But I met a creature sort of in this visualization, and it was like snake like in shape, but instead of scales, it was completely coated in like a scorpion sort of armor, and it had like almost like this sort of Asian style cap with a face of a sort of human style head, but it was very, very flat and shiny. And it came to me, and I was sort of like, what the hell is this? And it sort of asked the question of like, why are you here? And it kept asking that question, like, why are you here? Like, what are you doing? And yeah, I had this amazing experience where I met that, and there was sort of this other character, like a noodle, it was called, and it was a very fearful, sort of anxious, just jittering around type character, sort of sort of made from like a brain tissue type feature, and it had sort of like a tail of almost like an umbilical cord that sort of went off into the darkness of the dream. So there was all these amazing things, and I just got thinking about what you were saying about the north, south, east, and west, and is essentially that's like an almost like can be a description of our consciousness too, because we have a hero, we have a villain, and we have a mentor, and we have the sidekick as well. So maybe that was part of what was going on. So thanks for that.
Well, let me just jump in for a second. So when you're in this state, which is really productive for imageries, a lot of times it's suggested for people who are working. Um, I don't know, white lodge, black lodge. I don't know what you want to call it, but you should put a circle around yourself, right? Now, unfortunately, the circle draws attention to yourself because what is so precious that it needs to be protected? But it's also a really, really good idea to do such. And so, by orienting yourself with this directional flow, but I would suggest instead of going from north to south and east to west, you should probably proceed in a clockwise fashion until you become more skilled. Because one of the things that you're going to notice is the horizon and everything that you're looking at is going to kind of roll and gimbal, right? Until you become accomplished at being able to see the things, and things will approach if you're unguarded. And interestingly, the symbol of that serpent with the exoskeleton is kind of a standard ayahuasca, and the noodle is kind of almost a standard DMT entity. That's amazing.
Oh, that's very intriguing because the story gets deeper, and I don't know if I should share it in a recorded space because it's incredibly impersonal. But I have shared it sometimes, depending on the space, and I probably talk too much sometimes. But you hit the nail on your head on the head, so I sort of gave this exoskeleton. I called it Being, and we had types of interactions together. Like its presence was immense and powerful, like as if it was looking on me as if a whale was passing in the ocean, and it was basically observing a little tiny shrimp, and I was the shrimp, and it wasn't threatened by me at all. But it was also there to sort of aid me in a way because it was helping with some of the exercises. So it was doing some of the things that I was instructed by the scientists to do. But yeah, you're actually very, yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. So that's impressive. So you've done sort of work around that, Melwell, yourself?
Yeah, I kind of, I don't want to get too biographical here in this space as well, but I've always been interested in the realm of mystics. And the thing is that you either know or you don't. You've either experienced it or you haven't. You can read all the books in the world and you can be intellectually immersed in it, but until you really, really get it, um, you don't you don't really have anything to work with, and that I feel is the realm of the mystic. So whether it is expressed in Christian terms, which is what the society that I grew up in, I wanted to become a priest, an Episcopal priest, but it was right before they had allowed that to actually happen. And as a female, it was not well received to have those kinds of pursuits that are both kind of intellectual and at the same time in the realm of rapture. So I went away from the church and started looking at a lot of different religions, comparative religions, and so forth. And of course, you eventually come to the idea that perhaps an organized religion still is missing the boat here, and that there's more. And so I've been interested in a little subtler forms of existence, like astral projection, remote viewing, which is basically astral projection with you know enterprise application. But it's fantastic that the the more you parade around, on the in the more subtle ethers, the more you realize you should probably um, be careful. And it's it's so enticing and it's so wonderful. And the reason why I love the metaverse is that you're basically trying to lasso others into your view of what that is. So that's why I'm here, and I approach to bring this around to other subjects that we've talked about here. um, AI. I approach AI like an oracle, not an oracle with deities necessarily, but an oracle with our collective um, consciousness, unconsciousness, the whole thing. And to me, it's very much like that snake that you talked about, that is aware of us as discrete individuals, and that at the same time our personalities, the sort of clothing that we're wearing um, in the moment, matter not. None of it does. So
Yeah, well,
usual.
well, that's really deep. That's cool. Oh, another universe just exploded and was born in my mind again. Look, I feel like sometimes I'm hijacking these types of spaces, and I don't want to do
Doing.
that anymore.
We're listening. Don't worry about it.
It's not a
Uh,
hijack, it's your flow, and we're here for it.
cheers. Um, yeah, so there was some cool interesting conversations that we had, in the sense of very, very sort of, almost like some of them were sort of like a verbal type conversation, but with Noodle, it was almost like a sort of like a almost like like a thought was happening, but I could feel its thoughts and it could feel my thoughts, but essentially they were my thoughts I felt. But yeah, so there's some definitely, it makes me think a bit deeper about what you're saying, and I haven't journeyed into that realm, unless it was under the advice of the scientists. So, but yeah, I'll tell them about what you said about the clockwise type of thing and creating that sort of sphere. I think that's incredibly important, because when we're getting into these types of experiments and doing these types of things, is we don't know where we're going, and we essentially don't know what's out there. And speaking and hearing about those types of things makes a very good point. It's important to protect your mind, because it's the only mind you got, right? And on that note, I'm gonna head off and rest mine, and yeah, talk to you guys later. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We haven't had a single fight yet. What's wrong with everyone? I feel like fight.
Aw.
Nobody feels like
I appreciate that very much.
No one's talking to you, Jackie. Be quiet. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. I love it. The thing is, like, when you're around comics, like, we make fun of each other as a way of becoming friends. So sometimes, like, I forget that not everyone's like that.
Well, it's like you're out of the loop and you have no idea what's going on. You just have this vague sense of like something's going on and someone's probably making fun of you and you don't know why.
Oh man, look, if the heckler says something and it gets a laugh, I'm still the comedian on stage, right? That's still technically my laugh. You know what I mean? Right? So it's like give and take. But today was great. I'm still struggling.
I love sense of humor. Sorry to interrupt.
No, we were talking about it yesterday when I was creating the video with Mahat, which is like, you know, there's so many people trying to, pose like the statue of David, right? And it's like, what if we just showed ourselves just messing up and getting angry at the computer, even though the computer is going to, take over all of, human function soon, and just have fun with it, right? And that requires us to self-deprecate. And I think a lot of people, if they don't open up themselves to that level of vulnerability, they kind of lock themselves off from a lot of fun and maybe some truth along the way.
I totally agree with that. Some people suggest that because I self-deprecate so much, I don't have any self-esteem. I have a modicum of self-esteem. It's not like, I make fun of myself and then I go like turn into a fetal position in the shower or anything. But, it's about a sense of self and having fun with that and knowing that everybody has vulnerabilities, and that's a common bond that is hilarious, because someone who's willing to talk about their vulnerabilities makes one reflect on their own vulnerabilities. And to me, that's funny.
It's interesting because is a troll able to self-deprecate?
I suppose they don't do it consciously, but yeah, I mean, sure.
It's interesting because a lot of the people who come in here that get upset about the space is when they're not open to changing their mind, or at the very least listening to other people. I guess they're one and the same, right? the openness to change your mind and your ability to listen even though you have access to a microphone.
Or their intent is to just derail the space and get everybody chaotic.
It can be all of those things. Yeah. The thing is, I'm here for it. I think though that we've kind of almost. I've been thinking about this a lot, about like how much control is too much control versus balancing the needs of the group. You know what I mean? Like all of those things. And it's like, man, are we already having these big company problems and we're only like 5 people?
I hear you. Yeah, I
Right?
know. I mean,
But at the same time, you know, I reflected on how my experience as a guy is different than everyone else's experience. And while I'm not threatened, other people can be in a position to be threatened because of their history. And so it really kind of makes me step back and be like, you know what? If there ever were going to be any parameters, it would be parameters to make sure that people were at least emotionally safe within a standard deviation or two, you know?
exactly. Yeah, I think that that's reasonable. I don't think that we need to get overly concerned with every little, foible that someone has, but there are some reasonable general standards that can be set, and if those go, if those get surpassed, then we have to act.
I like it. I like it. This morning was good. I am going to look at video.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out love.
Yeah, but good times, guys. Peter, I'm not sure if you know, Jackie, but Peter is very much single. He doesn't like us talking about it because he's very attractive.
That's awesome.
Don't tell him my secret.
He's
Yeah.
on the way to being famous too, Jackie. So you might want to hook up.
Oh, that's right. How many views do you have now, Peter? Is it 500,000 on that video? No, it's 173,000. 174 now. Wow.
What's the video?
Oh, here, I'll post it at the top. All right, I just posted it.
Have you talked to Dan? It's like I haven't seen him in days.
I texted him this morning. I'll probably give him a shout. No, he's kind of feeling under the weather.
Yeah, I heard that. I either that or he's ghosting me, one or the other.
I wouldn't blame him.
No, I know. I don't blame him. I would ghost myself if I could.
Like, I've been trying for at least half my life.
Yeah.
Things still keeps showing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wake up and you turn over and you're like, it's your personality. You get out of bed and you step into this personality you were yesterday. And it's like, shit, this again? All right, I guess here we go.
Yeah. No, when I get out of bed, I immediately step on the this mini George Foreman grill that I plugged into the wall that makes bacon. That's from The Office. Yeah. Anyway, it seems funny when you watch.
He wakes up to bacon. That's genius. Have you ever pressed your foot?
No, I'm thankfully not burned my foot on a George Foreman grill yet, but probably in my future, I can see that happening.
I would love to wake up to bacon. That's lovely.
It's an emergency.
There you go. Hey, you got your Mike. You have things set out for you. You got to surprise Allie with breakfast in bed someday.
What is this? What are all these? I liked it better when we were fighting.
Yeah! Bacon. I love it.
What?
Honey, we are fighting.
Oh, man.
Make breakfast
This is like the way they control me is like suggest things for me to do.
Oh! Syndicate. I love it.
Nah.
You love to pick up your socks.
What?
Make it all sexy. Yeah.
How dare you?
pick up your socks. Yeah.
Well, he likes to ball them up and huck them at me.
Yeah, that's fun. Because then they bounce off you. The bounce is good. It's a good bounce.
You're a ridiculous man.
Because they're longer socks, right? So they have more.
Oh
bounce
yeah,
to
he
them.
likes wearing my knee highs.
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah.
Knee-
Gets me in touch with my feminine side.
Well, if you go to Dollar Tree, there are knee-high socks that have coffee and donuts on them. They're really cute.
I got him some.
You did? Oh, cool.
Did.
No shit. They're
I
awesome.
just got them recently.
Yeah,
Where are
and
they?
the ones with what's the real slow animal?
Wow.
They're on socks too, but I forget the name of the animal. But there's some really cool ones there. I got striped ones. I got coffee and donuts. I got Halloween. Yeah, there's
Hold on,
some.
let me take a picture.
These ones are gummy bear ones. What did you do with the other ones? Oh, did you wear them already? Oh, here we go. Cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes?
Oh,
Nice.
Cassette tapes
Aw.
and gummy bears.
I missed that. Damn it. Yeah, I have leopard spots. I got, like I said, the coffee and donuts and stripes, and one more I got. I can't remember, but they're awesome. I'm gonna hopefully find more later. I'll go back over there.
So funny. I put them in like the bottom of a bag somewhere.
No, you didn't.
Yeah?
You got home and you wore them the minute you got home.
Well, what am I wearing now?
The math ones I bought you.
Yeah, the math ones are nice. The equation?
Yeah, it's got equations and graphs all over them.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Nerd.
You're a nerd.
You're a nerd.
You're a nerd.
Like over the last 3 days, maybe you guys can help me with this. Over the last 3 days, my cat has suddenly decided he's going to go climbing. So he'll be like, I'll wake up at 3 a.m. and he's like on top of the refrigerator.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what? You didn't do this last week. Why now? You know?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to knock everything over, and he's already fallen off and knocked things off shelves. And I'm like, what's going on here?
Oh, my God.
So
It's funny because I had that because I was talking to Ali about getting a cat, and I was teasing her about how the cat would knock all of her stuff over because he has little things that stand up everywhere. We all do, right?
Yeah.
You know?
But
Every counter is fair game to put something on top. That's a problem.
he's careful. It's weird because I have some tchotchkes that if they fell, they would break. He's very dainty and careful, like step, but it's like the big stuff. Like he knocked this huge bag of clothing off the top of a wardrobe.
Wow.
Like, how did you do this? You're like 5 pounds.
I don't know whether to be concerned or impressed.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. And already he doesn't listen. I'm gonna have to spritz him with a water bottle. And he's getting so picky.
I wonder if that would work with men.
I've done it on children.
Yeah.
My bad students. No.
That's very effective. Spritz the shit out of you.
Sometimes I huck erasers, and then you get to keep it.
E equals MC cubed squared.
No,
Right? In Guyana, they'd use like pepper, like diluted hot sauce.
Oh my
Yeah, yeah. Amazing. All right, guys, this was fun.
Oh, Jackie left. Jackie's like, screw Peter. Peter, I'm very sorry that Jackie was so rude to you. I'd go on a date with you, but you're probably too young. Peter's like, I'm out of here too. All right, Mike, I'm very sorry. I don't mean to hold you up.
No. We're just chilling. I like it's funny because you and I are always usually like hosting, we never actually have a chance to talk.
God.
Yeah. But Sandra's like the invisible nucleus of everything.
Oh,
She doesn't know that. I'm telling you.
I think
Sorry, I
Allie.
wasn't trying to be rude. I was just actually at the fridge.
That's okay.
Making a sandwich.
No, just eating some bacon that's been cooked earlier.
No, she tried to say I was, but I show up for Sandra. What are you talking about?
I thought you showed up for me.
What?
What?
remember Mike, breakfast in bed.
Ah, God.
Bacon.
Worlds are colliding.
Worlds are colliding.
George is getting upset. George is getting upset.
Oh my goodness. Please don't start talking in the third person. I will leave you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Michael is about to make a pun.
Oh my God, I will leave you.
It better be a good pun if she's going to leave you.
I know. I gotta think about it.
So, do you like Texas or English muffins?
Oh.
Look, this is going too far.
I like both.
I'm gonna invite Dr. One of One so we can end this.
Oh my God.
What the fuck is bilingual when you need?
Oh, I'm glad. Actually, I'm
It's just
glad.
terrible.
I'm glad. What is her name? Elizabeth, is it? I'm glad she's here. I
Hi.
wanted to quickly. Hey, quick idea suggestion for your for what you're doing. Can you add a baby reminder to it? Like, I don't know if it would be that difficult, but like people get out of their cars and then boil their babies
Like
to
the
death in their.
hot car stuff. There is an app for that already. I mean, like,
Oh, really?
yeah. Like there's one that like it tells you if there's like pressure in the baby seat. But no, that's
But I mean,
interesting.
yours is more of a like what going to be hopefully incorporated into cars throughout the United States someday, right?
Yeah. That's long-term goals.
Right. So if that feature was available for free as part of your service, especially with as much publicity as this problem gets on television, even though relatively it's not a huge problem, but it's enough so that it makes the news. I think that might actually be good advertising to say, hey, we have this lawyer feature and you get this other free feature, because it really I don't think the cost would be that much more significant. You could fold it into the cost of the the other thing that
Yeah,
is so I think it would be
that's
a
smart.
great draw. Anyway, it's just an idea.
No, I like it. Actually, there was a judge here in Arkansas whose baby died because he left the baby in the hot car. So
Oh
speaking of
my
like
God.
the intersection of those things, yeah, it's a super sad situation. But
I can't even imagine.
that's why I don't have kids, because I'm super forgetful. Like I'm just, oof.
Yeah, but if you had that feature, it wouldn't matter. You get about 6 feet from your car, and your car would be like, "What the fuck, idiot? Go get your kid." Right?
It has to say that though, like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it should say something like that.
Can it please say that? The fuck, idiot.
Yeah, it has to be that language. It has to be your voice. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask you right now formally, will you be the voice of the "go get your kid, you fucking idiot"
Oh,
soundbite?
I'll happily do that.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you what.
Actually, this is recorded. I know that Mike could work magic and we could just
Oh
have that
yeah.
Do
soundbite.
it.
Yeah.
Do it.
So
And
what was the? Can you give me about 4 or 5 variations, Sandra?
all right. Here we go. What the fuck, idiot? Get your kid. All right. So that's the first one. All right. All right. So here we go. What the fuck, idiot? Go get your kid. What the fuck, idiot? Go get your kid. What the fuck, idiot? Go get your fucking kid. There.
It sounds like a dance remix to me waiting to happen.
I should say baby, but it's probably a kid or a toddler. I don't know.
I mean, everybody's a kid. Like, I'm a kid.
If they're boiling their kid,
works.
you don't boil your child. You boil a kid. You know what I mean? Like when people say kid, it's like you don't really care about this thing, do you?
Yeah, right. Well, that's a good one too. You don't really care about your baby, do you? You're literally boiling it alive in your car. Congratulations. Go get your kid.
Have you guys seen The Servant on HBO? I think it's HBO.
I've heard
No,
of it.
it's Apple Plus or Apple
What's it
TV.
about again? I've heard
M.
of
Night
it.
Shyamalan is the executive. No, okay, well, never
Oh,
mind.
no.
I'll spoil it
I
if you
heard
haven't seen
it.
it, so I'm not going to spoil it.
What was it called again?
The Servant.
What is that about? I've seen most of his movies.
Well, it's
can't
not a movie;
place
it's
it.
a TV series that he executive produced, and
Oh,
it's
shut
very
up!
suspenseful.
He has a TV series. That'd be great. I like M Night Shyamalan. It's perfect.
Say more. It's not a spoil. It's a trailer.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over top of you, Elizabeth. I'm sorry. I do that when I get excited. I don't mean to.
No, it's good. Who is it? I think it was Carlos that said an interview is one where one person speaks and then another person speaks, but a conversation is where we speak together. Right? I think it just comes down to if we know each other enough to know that we're not trying to offend each other by, or overpower. When you feel like it's overpowering, you know what I mean? But that's kind of like an instinct and
Yeah.
a human experience thing.
Anyway, hey, and by the way, before you go, Elizabeth, if you actually have 10 people leave their babies in cars, I will personally call them and tell them that they're fucking idiots. In addition to the voice that you can use for free whenever you want. So,
What would the conversation go like? Like, then the person picks up.
I would be
His
like,
name is Peter.
what the fuck were you thinking? Like, why? What is so important that you can't seem to remember that you have a child in your car and that the car had to tell you that you have a child in your car? That would be the first thing.
Is it bad that I seen drugs?
But here's the thing: a lot of them are not like they,
Oh no, I know that. I know that.
right. But the ones I've seen on TV, it's usually I shouldn't say that. I would probably be the first person that would use this service and be thankful for it. I hope not. I fucking hope not. I mean, I hope to have a child someday, but I don't want the service to be like, why, yes, you two are a moron. That would be terrible. I'd have to have my head examined.
I
I'm
wonder
gonna have
if
to have, you know
this
what?
is
I've
this is a
solved my
dark
problem.
thought. Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry. No. Dark thoughts first.
It it's a bit of a dark thought, but what if they didn't forget?
Oh, that's fucked up. Yeah, there's no you could be right about that.
Well, if it's an electric car, then you can put on the AC automatically and then drop down the TV screen that plays Bluey.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. Or it would do that automatically. Like it would be like,
So,
oh, I think there's a child here.
yes, right? It can do a height analysis or whatever, or a head analysis. And then, yeah, it's more like a feature that we could tweet at Elon Musk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the funniest thing is, back in the 70s and 80s, parents would leave their kids in the car in dead of summer all the time with the windows cracked. Like I remember my parents leaving me in the car to go, temporarily into a store or something. I remember that, and I don't think I was the only one. So yeah,
No, for sure not. And then you
you
would
don't hustle.
then you would get out of the car, stand beside it a bit, and get
Yeah,
back inside, hang out. And to be honest with you, being outside in the car in the heat was less painful, arguably, than being with your parents inside the store. You
yep.
know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't let you do half the shit you used to be able to get away with back then.
They just give you the keys and you can turn on the radio. You turn it halfway, turn on the radio,
Oh yeah,
right? You
yeah.
know?
I never drove off with the car, but I was tempted. I couldn't even see above the steering wheel. Big old 70s station wagon, with the panels. And,
Oh, I love
there.
it. I always wanted to wood panel a Lamborghini,
That would be awesome. That would be
right?
awesome. And the
Yeah.
funny thing is, I'm in Miami, and sometimes you'll see like these old, like these square Broncos, like the square SUVs that were from like the 80s. Or I even saw a paneled Volvo the other day. But at the same time, you see like all these Lambos and like all these nice cars driving by. It's like yeah. But look at that Volvo. It's like from the 70s. Holy, and I'm like going. I'll like pull over and take pictures of like I'm looking at this, and there's people with like $500,000 cars all day every day in Miami. I'm like it's like the weirdest thing, like why am I so fascinated with like these nostalgic cars? I'm like whatever.
Well, I'm asking Wombo if it can create the Lamborghini with the wood paneling on the side. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, I hope it can. That would be cool. That'd be awesome. I gave Wombo a picture of me last night with my ridiculous Klingon forehead, and it gave me like glowing pink eyes and made me look funny, but that was about it. I'm like, damn it, do something weird. It wouldn't do anything weird.
Thing is, it gave me a pretty. It didn't do the wood paneling, but it gave me a pretty awesome looking car.
Oh, what'd it do? What'd it do?
Hold on, let me post it at the top. Lamborghini sports car with wood paneling on the sides. With let me change the prompt.
Huh. I love that. It's got like almost like a wood paneling vibe on the tire rims. That's cool. It kind of looks like a cool Nova or a fastback. Like they kind of like changed it. That's pretty neat. That's awesome.
I think it's funny that it's on carpet.
I didn't even notice that. Really? It's on carpet?
Well, it seems this way, the surface.
It looks like it. Yeah. Oh my God. It is on carpet. That's, yeah, look at it. That's hilarious.
It's displayed inside like a
And
theater.
it's a curtain. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even see that. That's hilarious. I love that.
This is interesting.
Mondo has a sense of humor. Maybe it's like doing the whole Price is Right vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a good question. For Price is Right, what would it put up? All right, so Wombo. All right, hold on. I want to start creating, darn it. Let me create. Okay.
I'm replying to that tweet with the other Lamborghinis. I'm still trying to get the wood paneling.
All right, let me see what happens here. So if I go out of, can you hear me right now? You can, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm creating a Wombo, but if I leave Wombo and go back to my Twitter app, it's just not gonna. Oh, well, that's interesting. All right. Hold on, I'll show you what I did. I put Price is Right and then Lambo to see what it would give me. Like the game Price is Right. Let me see. Oh, I love that. That's cool. All right, here's mine. But mine's a little different. Mine's Price is Right, Lambo. All right, so I attached it to your tweet. I like yours. It's on carpet too. Now, oh, that's cool. I love that car. They're neat. Is that a Ferrari? It looks more like a Ferrari. The top one.
Okay, I think I figured it out. So it's all about the oh man, that looks amazing. Whoa. It's all about the order, right? So if you put the wood first, right, it'll
Right.
prioritize wood. So car made of wood Lamborghini ended up almost getting it.
What? Let me see. I gotta see.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me put this to the top.
Oh, no way. Look at that. Sorry, I'm eating spaghetti at the same time. That is beautiful. I want this car. Check it out. Yeah, I get
Imagine
all
that you could
excited.
commission a car to be made based on your specs, based on a AI image. Be like, hey, this is the Cybertruck I want now.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that's wild. I love that. I love that wood paneling on the car. That's so cool. Melody's probably like, this woman is just fucked in the head. But no, that's really, I love it.
Yeah, it looks like you guys are trying to come up with a solution for keeping the car cool. So is wood one of those things that would make sure the temperature is balanced so the kid won't freeze in the car?
That's a good point. Does wood breathe?
A natural solution.
Wait, cars used to have wood inside. Didn't we say that kids didn't die before when they were in the car?
I don't recall, but it would make sense if they didn't.
Well, or Oran?
Yeah.
What did you say about having the car inside, the wood inside the car? What'd you say?
No, no. If you're making the car with wood, is this another solution for making sure the kids don't die in the car if it's like really cold or really hot? Because I feel like we talk about this every year.
Whoa, this is crazy. So I think it was a function of also like the art style that I chose. So the more abstract one made an abstract, it looks like a top view of a car. Huh. It's interesting. All right, I haven't talked to you in a long time. What's up? What you up on? You feeling good? You feeling nice?
Oh, you, how many accents are you going to drop right now? No, it's heads down time for me. Like,
What does heads down mean for you?
I'm trying to like get some knowledge, get my son back into school.
True.
Yeah, I'm a suburban dad, so gonna make that happen.
Right.
And like, I gotta secure my house. I've been getting some cyber attacks, so gotta
Really?
get that sorted out. Yeah, yeah,
On
yeah.
yourself or on the companies you're working with?
My small company and myself, so I'm just like getting some. I'm trying to decide if I should build something myself or use a vendor. Like
What type of attack are you experiencing?
it's the
If you don't
usual
mind me
stuff. Like
asking.
it's like the usual phishing, and now there's
Okay, like social phishing.
yeah, and there's a vulnerability on my router, so I gotta go get that changed out.
Right.
And yeah, so
The
all
reason
that
I
stuff.
ask,
Hmm.
the reason I ask is because I'm a recruiter, right? And
Yeah,
so there's a handful of cybersecurity folks that we know. I'm not. You probably talked to Ahmed, no?
Amanda.
Ahmed, sorry.
Oh, Ahmed. No, no, I don't think I was
No.
ready for that space. No.
Let me see if he's free. But yeah, the only reason I thought about it is because what do you use? You use Windows, Mac, Linux, a combination?
I use Mac, and I'm about to start building a Linux lab. So I got to be sure of what I'm doing because I don't want to know any
Okay.
vulnerabilities.
So the cool thing about Ahmed is Ahmed's like a security engineer, like a old school Linux command line. Well, I
Hmm.
saw this guy use 4 command lines at the same time. It was wild. Blew my brain in half.
Wait. I think you know what? Maybe I met him. Maybe he gave me some
Mm-hmm.
advice. Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
yeah, yeah.
So he has. I was talking to him yesterday, and he has a cybersecurity solution that allows you to um, increase your mean or decrease your mean time to business resumption. So if you
Oh,
are
wow.
attacked, right,
Hmm.
the idea is that from the command line or through just he's developing a user interface for it coming out this week,
Hmm.
early next week. And so when you mention all of that, I was like, okay, well, the main thing is that you don't stop processing transactions,
Yeah.
right? Or your ability to process sales is not compromised, right? So, if you can just make sure that your crown jewels can be brought back to life, even if someone does, you know what I mean? You never know if somebody has like a back door now, or, you know what I mean? There's all these
Yeah.
unknowns, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for
So,
sure.
yeah, his name here, I'm going to put to the top.
Yeah, there's so many touch
Okay.
points, man. Like, there's so
Oh,
many attack vectors. It's unbelievable. Like, even my coffee machine is a problem. My microwave. Oh,
yeah,
it's just so
right.
much.
Well, I talked to a guy who was the chief information security officer for Syndicate, and he,
Hmm.
and he told me this is 3-4 years ago that they were hacking in through the HVAC.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What do you mean hacking in through the HVAC?" And then he told me that with him, they weren't afraid of people changing. Sorry, they weren't afraid of people necessarily stealing data. They were afraid of people tampering with the healthcare data itself.
Right.
And I was like,
Right.
no way.
Yeah.
You mean
Yeah.
there's like something more sinister than stealing the data or
Oh,
just tampering
absolutely.
with it? Oh my God.
Yeah, they'll hold on to that, and then you gotta pay. Like, they'll hold on to patient data, and like so the doctors can't access it. So you're in there in the triage, wondering what the hell is going on. You're there for 8 hours. You can't get access to it. 24 hours, you can't get any help because they're holding on to the information. So it's hard for them to function the hospital the way they're supposed to. And then sometimes they have to go for like the paper stuff, or they have to get so much of vaccine information, which takes forever. So there's so many vulnerabilities everywhere. That's why a lot of these companies, hospitals, healthcare providers, they never used to focus too much on cybersecurity, but now it's different. Like it's a big deal. Ahmed Yusa. Okay. Oh no, it wasn't him. But Saf, no, that's not him. And I'll definitely reach out to him.
Sorry, wait, I'm here. I just talked to Ahmed. I called him, and so
Yeah, I just
he's gonna jump on in 2 seconds.
yeah.
Yeah. So oh, there he is. Doo-doo-doo. There you go. Oh, let me click on this. Fantastic. Orain Ahmed. Ahmed Orain.
Nice to meet you, man. Pleasure. Not much. Just some phishing attacks. My wife, she works from home,
Okay.
so she gets getting a lot of these phishing attacks and stuff. Because she's the plug for like a major crypto regulator.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've, she's a gatekeeper, so
Okay.
they've been trying to like get
I
access to
get
those
it.
things.
I think this is a conversation to be had in private. So I can. So my background is that I run a cybersecurity technology company,
Okay.
and I've been building cybersecurity products for about 24, 25 years, including things for the defense sector. Um, let's find out what it is that you guys are going through and figure out the correct path to defend you. Does that sound good?
Yeah, we can take a look for sure. I just want to make sure I just want to make sure my thing is secure because I don't want her to get breached.
No, that makes a lot of
Because
sense.
it's a bigger
No, that
problem.
makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. There's all sorts of issues, but this is not something that we should discuss in an open forum.
True.
And I am happy to let's start with well, let me DM you my telephone number, and what we can do is set up a call time. Which yeah, let me just DM you my telephone number, and then we can set up a Zoom call or whatever is easiest, and
Yeah, that's fine.
and go through like an NDA or whatever is needed. All right, let me give you some
No problem.
options. Cheers.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, man.
No problem.
Thanks, Ahmed.
Oh no, thank you, Michael. Happy to help.
Orain, you said you're in Toronto, right?
Yeah, GTA.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I grew up in Melbourne.
Yeah, it's an interesting area.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it wasn't as hot as I mean it kind of I never personally, was inflicted by anything too bad.
It's in
But
spots, right? Just like Oshawa, it's the same thing. It's like it's spots.
yeah, and a lot of the times, like if you hear about somebody getting shot, you don't. I'm not saying this happens a lot, but you never ask yourself, well, was that person shooting at the other person too? Oh, they were. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a mix of that. But there was a string of incidents where kids got hit by gunfire.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so that kind of blew up. And then, ever since then, I would know friends that would be like, Malvern, I would never go there. I'm like, oh, my hometown. Oh, well, I understand. They're actually
Nah.
tearing down Malvern Mall, which is sad. But
Oh, for real? Oh,
Yeah, dude.
I'm going there in 2 weeks for christening, so I got this.
Nice,
Gonna
nice.
pop in
Sounds
there,
like you're gonna have the best food of your life.
dude. Like, there's three spots in Toronto. In Brampton has like the best like New York style Chinese food.
Hmm.
Scarborough has like legendary like Jamaican food, obviously. And then on the East End, it's just a mixed bag of everything. So like because there's so many cornfields out here, they make corn everything. And on the East Side,
That's
like in
true.
Durham, yeah. So,
Orain, please verify that you have received my
oh
information.
yeah, I got you. I just
Okay.
got it.
So when do you want to jump on the call now?
I'm
And
I'm actually about to end the space. Yeah, I just saw Orain and I couldn't end the space when I see Orain. You know what I mean? You know, there's some people like that you
yeah.
can't end the space when you see them. It's like no, can't do that. I was
That's funny. Alrighty, man. Thanks for the hookup. We'll talk in a
I'll
bit.
talk. All right, you take care.
All right then.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
All my love to everybody else. Bye, Melly B. Bye, Sandra. Bye, Peter. Take care. Bye bye.
Wait, Ahmed was here for like 2 minutes. He left.
We're gonna get rugged.
Well, I think that is, you know, we've been having so many like distractions, it feels like, over the past few days. But to me, that's what the syndicate is, if nothing else.
Yeah, except now we got like people also opening syndicate spaces that aren't quite syndicate. Hilarious.
It's like I can't help, but the thing is, Mel talked about that meme, you know, the selfish meme, right? Like the selfish gene,
Yeah,
and the gene just wants to replicate. So part of me sees it as absolute flattery, right?
it is funny.
That people want to recreate it. I'm like, oh man, you want to recreate it? Great. And it's like, um, I don't even think if they like me or hate me or want to do the opposite. It's just like, whoa, people are, you know what I mean? Right? We went from other people wanting to take part in the fun to the haters wanting to take part in the fun. Whoa, now you've really made it. Congratulations, everyone.
Yeah, but it's too cute. It's like I saw two different people with their little syndicate spaces, and no one was in there but them. I felt kind of bad. I was like, no, I'm not going to make this worse by actually going in there.
I was just gonna say, did you fucking go in there?
Melody, I almost did. I was like, I can't do it, but I feel bad for them. But they're awful people.
That's fucking idiot.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's funny because I went into the space, right?
Why?
No, you
Oh,
didn't.
good.
Yeah. And I was like,
Him?
Zach was there.
Zach
Yes,
too?
Zach was actually there. And Zach, we were asking him about the project, and it was called MLM Fam. Multi-level marketing fam. That was the coin. And so I'm like, hey, can you tell me more about MLM fam? He's like, hey, wait, hold on. How do you know about that? I was like, I don't know. I just clicked on your profile. He says, you know, you can read the white paper. I'm like, you have not put a single carriage return in this entire document. It's just one blob of text. Give me one return.
And then
Some white space.
I asked some simple questions about marketplaces and the things that are my specialty, and he had no clue any of the answers or any of it. And I was just like, bro. But he was in a space yesterday, and it was one of Satoshi, that Bitcoin guy. It was his space, and he was in there, and he was just asking tons of questions about why we can't pay at Starbucks with NFTs and all this stuff, and everyone was like laughing at him. And then he just kept asking like fucking questions and telling them that they were wrong. And I jumped up and I was like, "Hey guys, you're wasting your time. Like, let me read his thesis for his business." He's like, "Tell me how many buzzwords are sitting here." And then he left the room and like went crying all the way home. It was hilarious. But I talked with Lauren about it, and I was like, she's like, yeah, I think he's just trolling. I was like, no, I think he really just has that big of an ego that he thinks he's the smartest in the room when he really just doesn't know any of it, which was interesting. I think a lot of people are making Web3 way more difficult than it needs to be. Like me paying with Apple Pay on my phone is the same thing as me paying with NFTs. Like it's not. It doesn't add any benefit. It doesn't add anything.
The thing is, like, you come to this challenge with an actual product that helps people. Most people don't have anything that's helping anyone. It's not even, the startup isn't even helping themselves. You know what I mean? And so they're looking for a gimmick. They're not looking for product market fit, right? They could give a shit about whether the customer benefits, right? And you can tell, right? Because they're just grasping at gimmicks. It's kind of like the death throes. You know when the T-1000 can't hold its shape at the end of Terminator? That's what happens with like late stage startups. They just be like, oh, nothing's working, so let's try this and this. And you know what I mean? And there's no kind of rhyme or reason because it's just all in panic mode. And they end up losing their shape.
Wow, look at that. I like the tongue. A green tongue. Kind of groovy.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, I like it. It looks like a hero. It's kind of like Narcissus, but the computer. Yeah,
I love it.
gorgeous. Great job. It's interesting that you could become friends over an image.
I'm acceptable to that.
Fascinating.
Just put some bolts and hornets in it, and I will just lick you all over. Yeah, you know what I mean.
The pain and the pleasure of it.
Peter, have you posted any new ones?
I want to talk to Peter for sure. Is he there or is he asleep? His shit has like almost 200,000. Well, Zach asked if you have done something else. I think he's trying to follow up on the 3 points that he gave you.
Yeah, sorry, I've been I was just messaging a mate and I had this turned down a bit. What were the
They're in the
what's
chat.
the question exactly? Like, have I done something else?
Yeah, like have you posted anything else? Have you any new drops? Peter Originals?
No, I've just reposted that one to Instagram, so that's those guys got their flow of that going on. I'm working on stuff at the moment, but I don't know. I don't have anything new to drop at the moment.
This Ferrari in ancient Rome is nasty. Ali, check this out. Ferrari in ancient Rome.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
That's fucking cool. I'm kind of trippy. That hurts my brain a little bit.
I love imagery like that.
You heard
that's just one of the people I follow.
What about mixed time period?
I love stuff out of time. That's so fun.
Ooh, out of time.
Right?
That's cool. I like that. Out of time. That could be a whole series. You could have like samurai in Tokyo. Right?
That's not out of time.
What do you mean?
Oh, you mean at the end of their time? I meant out of time like a samurai with the dinosaurs.
Oh, you
know what I mean? Like it's not in the right time.
Yeah, I was talking about like the modern Tokyo with like the whole city.
Oh, I didn't understand what you were saying.
Sorry. Yeah. So
I was like thing where it's supposed to be?
Yeah. No, you don't get it at all, you fucking idiot. You don't understand this at all.
I wish I could see inside your brain sometimes. Words are hard, okay?
Thanks.
Words are hard.
Thanks.
I like it though.
Yeah. What would be another one? It would be like what?
Sorry.
I love doing the Jesus ones. There was one that I retweeted on my profile that was like Jesus gets cancelled or is disappointed to find that he got cancelled. And it's him at a laptop just looking all like
We play Magic the Gathering because I would love Peter, because I would love some of those like beautiful scenes redone. You know, from the cards, because they hire a lot of artists to do each of the pictures to get it to be done like reimagined. I should send you my like commanders and stuff.
Well, I'm looking up Magic the Gathering right now. So if I look up,
I wonder if I can do them surreal. I've just been diving right into the surreal stuff lately.
Yeah,
It's sort of been just a current thing.
the
But
cool nature ones redone surrealism. Oh, I would love that.
But I was talking to someone earlier, and I was saying I should focus a bit on the branding side of it, not necessarily like the direction that I want to take everything in, like for the rest of it, but just like pure branding. That doesn't necessarily mean I have to stick to the same style of imagery. But he sent me an example where someone's got this Instagram a TikTok, and they got like 70,000 followers, and all they do is post these images that sort of like come into focus in like a 4x4 square, and they're not even like they're nothing worth writing home about, if that makes sense. Which is fair enough. I mean, most cool imagery isn't. Yeah, it's just the fact that he's doing it that way, and every single time he posts, it's a consistent style of post, and that's just branding enough to differentiate himself.
I'm doing a Magic the Gathering card now. Force of Nature. We'll see what it does with it. Yeah. It would be interesting because technically what you could do is if you have a certain card setup that's attacking each other, right? Person versus person, you could create the animation for what's happening. Right?
Oh, have you ever? Oh, my brain is exploding right now. That's like an episode of Adventure Time. Yeah. Where they're in the future, they're playing Magic the Gathering, but it is a 3D hologram. So you actually.
It's kind of, you know what's funny? I kind of picture the AI thing going down that path in one way. I want us to do this with another guy. I sort of suggested that this was a little while ago when I was like still in the blow up stage. And he seemed sort of full of the idea. I said, if you get into animations, we should do a thing where we fake a beef, like a rivalry. And then we turn it into this thing where it's like we have this like battle in animation space. It was this really like, it was a drunk idea at the time, and I was just like, this sounds so amazing. But he seemed for it as well, and then it's just like never ended up coming to light, of course. But I was thinking like AI generated like Pokemon type things, not actual Pokemon, but like it could be a thing. It's hard to explain. It was this vision I had in my head at the time. It's late.
So, did you watch the new? I want to call it Game of Thrones, but that's not the name of it. Something Dragons, I think. Have you any of you seen that yet?
I didn't even watch Game of Thrones, though.
Oh, don't! You'll be so sad.
I've watched like one or two episodes here and there, but like I tried to get into it and I just could not get past the first episode. It was like that first 10 minutes and it's just all snow and I'm just like, no. I just kept losing track.
It's actually a masterpiece if you give it a chance. But the last season, the last season made me angry because it just sucked. You know, I make fun of it to this day because because it's like I feel like I wasted seven seasons of my life to be insulted and treated like, you know, like I don't know. I was not happy with the quality of the last season at all. Don't get You shouldn't even get me started, Peter. I'm telling you. But anyway, so I haven't watched this other um Game of Thrones spinoff yet. But I hear by the third episode it's really it's it's good, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch it and be disappointed.
I've heard about it. I don't know if it's. I haven't heard so many bad things about it. What I have heard is, I think, is there some Lord of the Rings spin-off or some Tolkien spin-off? There's
Yeah,
apparently
that
really
one.
bad.
Oh, really? Oh, darn it. Yeah,
But
people are critical that are, if people really love the books, almost always they're going to get upset with, you know, whatever is produced. Yeah.
I think the Game of Thrones 8th season, people just expected it too much, so they were disappointed. But in hindsight, it wasn't too bad. It was like 7 out of 10. I mean,
Oh,
there's
I
that.
I agree. I agree with you, but season 8 was incredibly disappointing to me. It was very misogynistic in terms of, oh, okay, well, if you're a female ruler, you're gonna become a genocidal maniac and just wreck everything. And the fact
I
that
mean,
the
it's like I think the directors were like uh, getting ideas from the past of the human race. That's they said it. So I just watched the interview.
I mean, if you're gonna have strong female leads, then let them be strong to the end. Don't turn them into crazy people because, between Daenerys and oh god, the Lannister lady, just kind of going, their characters acting kind of out of character. It was I was like, okay, whatever, and then the fact that the Lannister twins could have stood like maybe a yard over from where they were standing and survived the collapse of the parts of the castle. It was just like, how could you be so dumb? Like, just shuffle over there to a weight bearing arch, and you'll be alive. And I mean, even I'm looking at it as it's happening, I'm like, yeah, but if you just stood right over there, you'd probably never mind. you know because if you've ever
Yeah, I get it. I get it, but it's like it's also a show, you know. It cannot be all realistic. It needs to be like dramatic and all that. I mean,
Yeah, it was dramatically bad the last season. Like it was the equivalent of like a stick person compared to the other seasons. Like the other seasons were like masterpieces, and the last season was like stick figures, like drawn by a toddler. I was not happy at all. If someone said, if God was with me and God's like, Sandy, I'm going to give you one wish, what would it be? I'd be like, redo season 8. That would be what I want. Like, not world peace, not bring heaven on earth. I'd be like, no, 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 fuck all that shit. Redo season 8 of Game of Thrones. That's what I would ask for. Oh, and I'd also ask if they could like eliminate like the whole last jaunt of Star Wars with like Rey and all that horse shit. I want that gone too. But aside, not as much as Game of Thrones being repaired. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I should just shut up now. Yeah. Personally, I thought that was.
I think those people expected too much from it, and that's why they were disappointed.
Well, I'm sure they.
Uh,
I'm sure they
yeah.
appreciate loyalty, but I mean, I think this they sent a petition around, and I think like I can't remember the end result, but it was like literally millions of people signed a petition to redo season 8, and I was one of them because I was just
Yeah,
like,
but it's about, and I think directors, two of them, which were holding the interview after season 8, said the budget was a little down. So
yeah, it must
yeah,
have because it sucked. But the showrunners, I read several well researched stories about how they wanted to move on to another project, so they basically just compromised on the quality of the product, which ultimately I think resulted in them being booted by Disney. But I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm just saying I wasn't happy. It's not the end of the world. Life goes on, etc. That's just the way it is.
I mean, but House of Dragons, it seems pretty good. I know what you're talking about. It's called, I think, House of Dragons, and I watched it like first 3 episodes, and it looks good, but different people's opinions, different viewpoints. I don't know. I'm just saying
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, I've read that some people want to eliminate mini Daenerys. There's like a mini me of Daenerys. They want to get rid of her. But I haven't watched it yet. I don't really have TV. Like I have like, and I'm not complaining. I'm not a big TV person anyway. Really, my ex was a big let's watch hours of TV at night, and I would just get restless. But um, I'd rather do other dumb stuff, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I like TV. I just don't watch a ton of it unless I'm in the mood, I guess. I don't know. I still have to catch up on like last season. Like I haven't watched the rest of Gilded Age. Haven't watched that yet. I watched half of it and then I missed the rest. I haven't watched Westworld since season 2, which kills me. And I still have to catch up on Yellowstone. So I'm way behind. We're all chilling.
I think so. I
Yeah,
like it.
I do too. Sometimes it's good to just kind of hang out. Like I finished my attorney registration as we were talking about other things, but
Yes.
the one thing that attorneys have to do that they always forget, but it's more important than the registration, is it's called IOLTA. It's a legal fund that every state has that basically makes sure that you have a lawyer trust account to put your retainer in, because nobody wants to hear that you're like, oh, here, cool, man, I'm going on this golf outing with your retainer. Have a great day. No one wants to know that. So you have to earn your retainer from your lawyer's trust account into your regular account. And but no one thinks about that. So they do the registration. They forget these lawyer trust accounts they need to have for their law office. And I forgot mine last year. I'm like, oh crap! I have to make sure that it's so. I had to reset it up and everything else. And anyway, so I'm all set up. I just have to remind the what we call the IOLTA, the legal trust account for the state of New Jersey. It's like, yes, I exist. Here's my account number. Go suck it. I gotta do that yet. That's like the other half of registering. So I'll do that. I can do that as I'm doing other things. So I just needed to dig up my trust account number because I'm like, what is it? I don't know. But I did. I found it. Anyway, very boring stuff. You don't want it. They should just hire somebody that does this for everybody, but they haven't. Like no one thought of that, or no one.
You should create it. The best products are created by people who create a product for themselves.
Yeah, I agree. Except lawyers tend to get a little. Some of them. I mean, we're shady people. I'm just gonna tell you straight out. Like we're a little shady. So
What?
they're a tiny bit shady, maybe a thimbleful of shadiness, and a lot of them are kind of. I would say some of them, especially the sole practitioners, the last thing they want is someone to come along and be like, "Hey, I'm going to automatically, help you with your registration and renewal for your trust account." They'll be like, "Yeah, no, I'll pass. I can't run my drug dealer money through there if you're going to be looking at that shit. Yeah.
Well, I don't imagine that any lawyers are involved in drugs.
No, not none. Zero. Yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
they have clients, they give you like wads of actual cash in black bands and
No, that's like just. I mean, maybe if they're using Monero, but
yeah. Which I would know nothing about, literally. No, I really don't. I know that when like
no.
the second law firm I worked for, they did a lot of drug work down in South Jersey, and the clients would always like outside the courthouse hand me like wads of cash wrapped in those black bands. I'm just like, come on, man, you can't and I didn't want to be like, really, but
Right.
I was kind of
Right.
like, really.
Yeah, this is like, if there's a camera on us, now I'm a defendant.
Well, I have plausible deniability, but at the same time,
Yeah,
how fucking lazy can
the
you?
optics of it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I never understood optics, eh? And like I had to learn that. And when my boss told me it's the optics of it, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm just saying something to someone else. And he says, no, no, no. If you use that word alludes to these emotions. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just saying a word. And he's like, no, no, no. You don't understand. These words that we use, like, it makes people have emotions about things. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm just gonna say whatever I want, and it's like, no, you're not. you know? Yeah, it's the optics of the situation. You definitely don't want to be doing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing there. So I like to think I've gotten a little bit better with that over the years, but time will tell.
I mean, I'm at the point where I know it now, and sometimes I do it anyways, right?
Oh
You know,
yeah.
when you're past, right? I think there's that point when you understand how to do it, right, and how to contort yourself,
Oh yeah.
and then there's a point where you're like, I don't like my back hurts from twisting my body into these shapes.
The gymnastics of it all, right? The
Yeah,
mental gymnastics, like, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, this is fun. I like the overtime. All right, take care.